Today, I have a great show for you because you get to be a fly on the wall as this episode is a hot seat coaching call with my friend Moyra, and we dive into Instagram Reels. That's right. Like Moyra, a lot of entrepreneurs, especially mompreneurs, are super frustrated with Instagram Reels, especially when it comes to the timing, how much time it takes, the tech, and of course, the content ideas. So in this coaching call, we simplify the process for Moyra. We go through how to plan Instagram Reels. We get real heavy into content. I break down content into 3 content pillars for her. We get into how to engage with Instagram Reels. And then, of course, I give Moyra a daily checklist for Instagram Reels. So make sure that you grab a pen and paper because this hot seat coaching call is filled with great information. I know you're going to be taking notes. You're going to walk away with so many ideas on Instagram Reels. So enjoy. Hey there, Mom Boss. Welcome to the Social Media for Mompreneurs podcast, where we dive into Instagram, personal branding, marketing hacks, and content creation strategies, all while balancing family life. And don't forget, we do it the fun and easy way. I'm Allison Scholes, once a corporate marketing coordinator, a teacher, and now podcaster and coach. And yes, I'm that boss lady in sweatpants. Go ahead and hand out the kids' tablets, open those juice boxes, grab your coffee or wine, and hide in your closet. Let's get this party started. Yeah, so you want to dive into Reels today. So what's like your biggest frustration with Reels?
Well, again, that's kind of it. Like it's sometimes, Reels are entertaining. So I feel like that's cool. It's entertaining, but I want to be on social media so that people not only get entertained, I suppose, like that they follow me, but I want them to follow me and like take me seriously. So I feel like sometimes the reels are just so silly that you're like, okay, well, I'm not, and granted, I could lighten up a little bit more in my life. So perhaps that silliness is good, but I want people to be attracted to me as a strong, authentic entrepreneur, powerful woman who pushes past her fear and all of those things. So that's who I want to attract. And I feel like sometimes I look at these reels and I'm like, okay, well, because I watch my teammates, some of my teammates, who most of them are younger than me, and some of them have a theater background. So they're doing some awesome things. And I was like, so it's great and fun to watch. But then I also know that they're getting way more engagement and they're getting their goals and things like that, partly because of that. And so that's my frustration is how do I figure it out that I portray myself like a little bit of fun, right? But that I get my message across of who I'm looking for, who, just that, the avatar that I'm looking for. So, and then, I can do like a reel, like I press the button and like I put a song on it and that's it. But then these other ones, but there's like, okay, they put the powder in the blender and then they put the milk in the blender. And the next, like, how do you put them all together kind of thing?
Okay.
And then I think the third thing is like, okay, I have a business to run and like a life to lead. And I don't want to get sucked into this time that it takes so much time to figure out the reels, let alone put them together, make sure the music's on there, and then where am I pointing to and all that stuff. It's just so forget it. I'll go back to Facebook.
Well, you know what, Moira, 2 things is you're not alone. I know that there's a lot of women entrepreneurs that see the potential in Reels, but they just really don't know where to start. And they're overwhelmed with time. They're overwhelmed with tech and they're overwhelmed with ideas, right? Because we get sucked into watching it. And that's kind of a big thing that I notice on Instagram is we are sucked in to watching what other people are doing. And then we immediately get in our heads and go, well, I need to start doing that. And so that's when we need to take a step back and go, well, wait a minute, what's my intentions for being on Instagram, right? And who's my ideal audience? Like, who do I really want to make an impact on Instagram? So when you go back to your intentions and who you want to make an impact, that's going to help drive your content for Instagram Reels. So I'm glad that you do see the potential in Reels, because why people are doing Reels, why they're so popular, is the visibility. And here's why, because when you create a reel and your audience is already interacting it by viewing it, liking it, the algorithm then will take your reel and they will push it to the Explore tab. So now you are getting the visibility by people who are not following you. So that's really why people are using Reels, is because your visibility can grow a lot faster with Reels compared to your static posts, compared to your stories, compared to your IGTVs. So that's why Reels has really exploded. So my advice on how to start with Reels, and this is for anybody who is just overwhelmed with the tech in the time, is this is what I did in the beginning. I started doing just two things. I was using my voice and I was showing my face, because you want to begin to build connections. You want to begin to build the know, like, and trust, build your authority, right? Build your brand. And the best way to do that is to use your voice and to show your face. So whether your Instagram Reels is set at 15 seconds or 30 seconds, just take what you know, what you're passionate about, and you're going to teach that by showing your face and using your voice. That's it. It's coming up with little, tutorials or processes or whatever your audience is coming to you with questions. You're going to answer those frustrations or questions right in your Reels. So that's number one, is just start that way. Don't worry about music. Don't worry about timing, right? Because that'll come in time when you actually start getting used to doing these Reels, and then you're getting really comfortable. And that's when the creativity kind of comes out and you're going to be like, okay, what can I do now? Because that's how I started. I just showed up with my face and my voice, and I've grown my Reels, over the last several months, but that is how I started.
And so you're saying that just to use your voice and show your face, I mean, just don't even worry about that other stuff. Like press record and say, hey, struggling with a morning routine, this is what I do. This is why I choose this. And that's it?
That's it.
No fancy stuff.
Nope, don't worry about that. All you want to do is just start creating Reels. You want to start getting comfortable. And the best way to get comfortable with Reels is showing your face and using your voice, because those are the two most crucial things to build your brand and build your authority online. So people are going to start seeing you. And then when you come out later with other kinds of Reels, the entertainment Reels, the lip syncing, they already know you, Moyra. They've already seen your face and heard your voice. So it's easy to mix those in later. So that's the first thing, is just start with those two things. And then here's three other things that I think are really, really important when it comes to Reels. Is a lot of times I see that people will open up Instagram, they're posting, they're using their stories, right? They might be creating carousels, and then they start watching Reels and they're like, I need to do a Reel. Okay, what can I do? And they're like, in that moment, anxiety kicks in and they feel forced to do a Reel. I don't think you should ever feel forced. So when you're planning your social media content, however you plan that, if you plan it by the month, if you plan it by the week, make Reels a part of your plan. So whatever your content is for the week for Instagram, take that content and repurpose it into one or two Reels. Just make it a part of your planning. So what I do is, when I plan my social media content for the week for Instagram, I'll look at the content that I've already planned for my carousel posts, my Instagram stories, my static posts. I will pull out good things that I can teach my audience, and I will just jot down a couple bullet points of ideas, or maybe some bullet points of what I'd like to say in my Reel. It's on a Post-it note, and I plan it. I'm going to say, all right, this one I'm doing on Wednesday, and this one I'm doing on Friday. I already have it planned out. I already know what I'm going to say. I already know the content for it. And then when I go to create it, coming up with the ideas and what you're going to say is the hardest part. So I do that on my planning day. And then on the days that I want to do my Reels, either I batch them outside of Instagram, because there's a couple apps that you can actually batch your Reels and just save it to your phone. And then you can open up Instagram Reels and you can actually upload a video to it. You could do that if you wanted to. So that is an option.
Right. Yeah.
And then Go ahead,
probably
Moira.
something I should get to eventually. But again, just doing this simple, like starting probably would be the best thing instead of, because I tend to be somebody that's like, oh, well, maybe I could do that. I could batch them and do all that. And then I get I get wrapped up in the details of it and I get off course and then I don't do it at all. So that
You're not alone.
I mean, I know myself after 57 years, like that's what, like if, oh, that really sounds great. And then it's just too overwhelming, or I get stopped with the text. So I just don't do it at all.
Yeah. So for myself, I do social media planning and batching on Fridays. So on Fridays, I decide the following week, what are my reels going to be about? And I have that many. So I typically do 3 right now because that fits my schedule. So I have 3 posted notes on my desk marked Monday, Wednesday, Friday, reels. And I bullet point the content. What am I mainly going to say? And what's my call to action? And then on Monday, I'm refreshed and I know I have it in my calendar. I need to do a reel today. And it's there for me. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not anxious. I have the content. I hit record and I do it. And that's it. Mm-hmm. And then when it comes to content, here's the biggest thing is, because I know a lot of people watch the funny, entertaining ones. And they're fun. And those funny and entertaining ones are really the ones that seem to go viral because they're on trend, right? And everyone's doing it. It's like a popularity contest almost with reels. It's very similar to TikTok. So for reels, I have 3 content pillars, and I make sure that I'm hitting these pillars throughout the week. My first pillar that I have is value-driven reels. These are my how-tos, your hacks, the X ways to blah, blah, blah. You can really hit the value-driven content from the get-go by using your voice and showing your face. That's a very easy pillar for reels that you can start immediately because you are full of content, Moyra. You have full of wisdom, full of knowledge. You can just pick little bits. And remember with reels, what you say in the 15 seconds, you can go deeper into your caption. All you have to say is read the caption for more at the end. That could be your call to action at the end of your reel. Say, you want more? Read the caption. Boom. So let's say you have like 5 steps to something. Your reel can be the first 2 steps. And then say, for the rest of the steps, check out the caption.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Yeah, because you want to get it all in there, but how do you get it all in there?
Right. So just do like the most juicy stuff in your reel because you want to hook your audience, right? Give them the most juicy details and then go deeper in the caption. Mm-hmm. And then the second pillar is your inspiration, relatability. Because I want to relate to my audience, I want to be pulling the right people to me. So that is when I'm doing like behind the scenes, showing them my lifestyle or my business. Or it might be like my little micro stories. So if I'm telling like great micro stories in my static post, I can easily turn that into a reel. And then the third content pillar is purely entertainment. And I know another concern you had was engagement. So reels gives you the visibility, but I think a lot of people forget that engagement is the other key piece. So if you want a lot of engagement on your reels, here's a tip. Not only include your call to action in your caption, you can also include your call to action with the text box right on your video. When I do that, I get the most engagement. So for example, if I had a reel that was very inspirational, like maybe you need to hear this today, entrepreneurship is hard, blah, 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 blah. I said, tag a friend who needs to hear this. And I even had it as a text bubble on my video and it was in my caption. Tag a friend who needs to hear this. I got the most engagement on that one because the call to action was in my caption. I said it and they visually saw it on my video. Okay. So call to actions are really important in your reels. And to get the most bang for your buck for reels, here's a little checklist. Use hashtags and use popular size hashtags like 200,000 or bigger because the most popular hashtags, people are using those for their reels. So people will go into the hashtag hubs, click on the reel, and then they fall into the scroll of the reels. So definitely use hashtags on your reels. Make sure you share it to your feed, because you have that option when you share your reel. Allow it to share to your feed. Have that on, because that helps your visibility. Share it to your Instagram stories, because now when people are watching your Instagram reels and your stories, you get the views for your Instagram reels. So share it to your stories, and then start with a hook, like asking a question or how-tos, hook them, and have your call to action.
Okay.
So that was hashtags, share to your feed, share to your stories, and then have the hook and the call to action.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I wondered that because a couple that I've done, I just put on my feed, but then I wondered if it should go up to the stories too. And then I've also seen, and maybe this is just to help the other person, like I've seen some of my teammates share their other people on our team, their reels to their story. Just like sometimes they do that with their posts.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
So that just helps their visibility.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're giving like really juicy content, you can actually put that in your caption. Say, share to your stories if you think this is beneficial to your audience.
Okay.
Or a lot of people will put share and save for later.
Right.
And that's the other thing too. I do this. If you are watching reels and you like what they're doing and you're like, oh, that's hilarious. Or you're immediately going, oh, I could do that, but I would do it this way. Hit the save button, because when you go to your insights, there's a saved option. It'll save all the reels that you like. And so you can go back and view them and go, oh, that's what I wanted to do. Because you're going to forget. I think we all have, we're not going to remember 3 days later a reel we watched. Nobody remembers.
Right. But there was one yesterday that I saw it twice. I saw that I heard the music twice or whatever twice. It wasn't music. It was something that it was like something about you had to love yourself first. Or it was like, or no, something about, I wish I had saved it now that I know that. But it's like your like is just extra. My liking me is the most important thing. Something like that. And I was like, that's awesome. Like that's what, right? We need to love ourselves first and all that. And and then I saw it, of course, a few reels later, same thing. Somebody else, your like is just extra. For those, whatever it is. Now I'm going to have to go find it. But that's good to know. I didn't know that I could save.
Yes, you can save them. And then you can also save their audio. And then you will have a saved audio section in your insights. So when you go to create a reel, you can actually go look at your saved audio. That's how people are reproducing these. They save the audio and then they do the lip singing or whatever. I've done that plenty of times.
Okay.
That's where I get a lot of my juicy ideas. And then I have those content pillars in a spreadsheet on Google Spreadsheet. I have those pillars and I brain dump. If something just comes to my brain, I open my phone because I have Google Drive on my phone. I open it because I have a Reels brain dump Google sheet, and I will just type in there real quick my thought process of what's in my head.
Well, my coach would love you saying that to me because she knows, could you just make a Google sheet out of that? I'm like, I don't know. That's a little too organized for me.
Yeah, I love Google Sheets. Let me tell you, I live on Google Sheets, and I have the Google Drive on my phone. So anything I create in Google is right here.
Right.
Because how often are we at our computer and the light bulb moments go off? Never. It's when you're in the car, when you're eating dinner. I mean, I can't have my phone in the shower with me, but other times I'm like,
right.
Woo.
Right. Yeah. Or you're out for a walk, or that's the thing. I go out for a walk and I listen to a podcast, and then I think of, I mean, so many times I'm listening to a podcast and I open my notes section and I make, I take notes based on what I'm hearing on that podcast because I want to make sure that I remember that. So it could be the same. It could be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool. So was this helpful?
Really helpful. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. It gave me a little bit more because I've, of course I've watched you and I've, been in your group and watched things. But again, just the way that I am, until I really feel like that's something I want to do. Because I kept saying, I'm not doing reels. Like my girls can do it, right? That are on my team. Like, Samantha, Sam, who used to do, they went to a performance, school, who she's so awesome. I just love to watch her. I'm like, she can do it. She can do it. Lisa can do it. Krista can do it. But now I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can do it. But again, I need some clarity around it. And so this is helpful for me because I feel like, okay, now I can conquer this.
Yeah.
And feel like, again, that there's some value to that. Because again, if I'm going to, we're all busy, right? And usually Facebook is my jam. That's really where I'm comfortable with and all of that. But I feel like this is, and I love what you said, like, just plan it out, just plan it out, because of course, anytime we plan anything, it takes less time. That's what I find. If I plan it, it takes less time than I think it's really going to take.
Yeah. And just like I said from the beginning, just simplify the process. Just start small with your face and your beautiful voice, and you'll be just fine. Thank you for tuning in today. If you loved today's episode, then please head over to iTunes, social media for mompreneurs, and leave a review. Your review helps grow the show. And don't forget, head to bossladyandsweatpants.com to grab all my freebies and hang out with me on Instagram at Allison Scholes. I'll see you soon.